Alright guys, how you guys doing? Welcome to Apple Weekly number 26, the show where I cover everything Apple in the previous week. Of course being broadcasted both on YouTube and iTunes. The link is in the description below should you wish to check it out. And before I start, of course, I'd like to thank the sponsors for the show, parcelmonkey.co.uk, give them a check. Getting straight into this week's stories, the first story, or the main story, which has been kind of dragging along for the past few months, is the white iPhone. It was released this week, and any of you waiting for a white iPhone for 10 months because of a colour need to probably get checked out. But nevertheless, it was sold out in Hong Kong, Beijing and pretty much the Far East. It was sold out in stores. There were queues, unbelievably, in some US and UK stores, which was insane for essentially the same thing. There was no difference, there's no added features, there was nothing magical about this new white iPhone other than the colour of the iPhone. What's interesting about this white iPhone is it's thicker, and by thicker I mean it's 0.2mm thicker. And while that's not really going to be a problem for the consumer, it is going to be a problem, or it is a problem for the companies who are making cases, accessories, and as such it doesn't fit in some of the OtterBox cases. But on the other hand, Phil Schiller sent a tweet out to someone privately and said, "Don't believe anything you hear in the media, it's all junk," meaning that the white iPhone isn't thick. So we're not really sure if it is really thick. Any of you, if you have an iPhone and a black iPhone 4 for whatever reason, if you can clarify it. But across the board when it comes to tech websites, they're all saying it's slightly thicker. So I guess that is going to be a problem for the case makers, and it's a shame because now they're going to have to redish out new cases, new inventory, and mobile phone shops are going to have to stock, a separate line just for the white iPhone. This next story is in relation to Foxconn. Foxconn, of course, being the company that makes all the iDevices. 3 employees were kind of charged and taken into custody back in December 2010 for leaking out iPad 2 case specs, and that is why you've seen cases on eBay, Alibaba and some Hong Kong stores and Chinese stores were kind of pushing out images of the iPad 2, and of course that was 4 months before the iPad 2 was officially launched, so it was pretty much coming straight from the horse's mouth. Now some of you might be thinking, well, why is that important? Well, one of the successes behind Apple's marketing is that they keep everything secret until the last moment, kind of builds up hype, and for employees to kind of leak out information for unknown amounts. They got what they kind of deserved, to be honest. And of course it's written clearly in their contract, not to leak out any information, and they still went ahead and done it. So schwang wang wang right there. Next up, Apple have bought iCloud.com, the domain name, for just a small amount of 4.5 million US. And the idea behind this is that it's going to replace the current MobileMe, which has been rumoured to be revamped for the past few months now. And certainly the promotion for MobileMe at retail stores is finished, so we can see a revised MobileMe in the name of iCloud or related to be released quite soon. iCloud is of course being tested in both iOS 5, which I'll talk about in a minute, and the next version of Apple's operating system, Lion. In specific, a developer has digged into the latest build of OS X Lion, and he's found a term called castle when it comes to iCloud. So what we don't know what this castle is it's a code name for something Apple is going to release in the future, but it says, it gives you a warning to upgrade from MobileMe to Castle, meaning it might be a paid upgrade, it might be a free upgrade. Then why would you want to have a free upgrade? But whatever the thing is, we can expect iCloud to be launched pretty soon. Coming back onto iOS 5, developers are saying their apps are being tested by Apple on iOS 5, iPods, iPads and iPhones. Now this is quite good because usually when this happens, then it means they're kind of in the last stages or in the stages of bringing out a beta for iOS 5, which should go out in this year. It usually happens in a few months, so we can expect the beta of iOS 5 released to developers to test their apps out, find bugs for the final release, God knows when. Most probably see initial build of iOS 5 at WWDC. It's not going to be polished, but we will of course see a final preview of OS X Lion. And last but not least, iMacs. I know I've been saying this in every Apple Weekly in the past, and I've made videos on the iMac and it's kind of never happening, but it seems this coming week, specifically Tuesday 3rd of May, is going to be the day for the iMac. It's going to get a refresh. Apple has sent out marketing material to Apple stores, retail stores, and the rumour is that Apple staff are going to start putting them out on the night of the 2nd of May and in the early hours of the 3rd of May. So posters, new kind of units on the actual retail stores, and putting old ones back into the store. What can we expect from the new iMacs? Thunderbolt is a given, FaceTime HD is a given. Of course FaceTime HD came onto the new MacBook Pros released in February, so we're going to see it on the iMacs. Sandybridge processors. I would like to see some kind of redesign, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's too early. especially the iMacs got kind of, the major revamp went down in late 2009, so I do think it's a bit too early for an entire new kind of revamp. I would love to see some sort of flash storage, whether it be custom or build to order, I wouldn't mind, but I would like to see the same kind of chipsets that they have for the MacBook Airs. I know some of you are going to be saying, well, they do kind of offer that with the SSDs, but they're not really the same thing, or they're not small, they're not kind of cute, and they are still expensive SSDs, so I'm hoping, even if Apple offer the same kind of chipsets with the Samsung or the Toshiba ones, flash storage for the iMacs at a reasonable cost, build to order, that would be pretty nice. And I'm also secretly hoping they're going to update the Mac Minis, which is of course part of the desktop range. Whether they do both of them at the same time, I'm not too sure, but I guess if that got a refresh, that would be pretty cool. And of course, in the UK, the price of the Mac Minis is ridiculous and it has to come down. But that's it guys, for this week's Apple Weekly. I hope you guys liked it. If you can rate, comment and subscribe, that would be great. For those of you watching on iTunes, if you can rate the podcast in iTunes, you sir, would be pretty damn awesome. Remember guys, you can join me on iGlaswegian.com, twitter.com/i6glaswegian. I've also got a Facebook fan page for those of you who don't know, facebook.com/iGlaswegian. Guys, before I go, I want to thank Parcel Monkey for sponsoring the show. And guys, I'll see you in another life. Cheers. Looking to send a package at the lowest price possible? Simple. Visit parcelmonkey.co.uk, follow these 4 simple steps, have the package collected from your doorstep, and then sit back and relax.